Greetings, fellow conquistadors. I'm Chevalier, and I bid you welcome to the History Situation and Guide of Aragon. Aragon is one of the less played Iberian nations, simply because, well, they have a tough situation to some degree. At this point, if you look at here, the rival France, Castile, they will have problems with Venice as well, Austria. So as you can see right now, they are rivaled by 4 nations. So in truth, they are a little bit difficult to play, but with the right management, they're gonna be really huge. As for their current development, if you see here, there's 195, Naples has 90, so basically they almost caught up with Castile. If you look at the Great War powers, we're pretty much close to Castile. I mean, there's nothing here that can I say that one province and they're basically the eighth great power. Nothing more to say on that side. Now, let's go into every tab and go for the intro situation. And I'll talk about the neighbors as well. Then I'll go into the next episode, which is gonna be the expansion part. So let's go for the cash. At first, you'll see that you make quite a bit of cash if we do this. We make 10 ducats per month, which is quite nice. We're in Genoa trade node, so we're gonna get even more cash. Now, let's look at the forts to some degree. As you can see, you have one in Messina. There is no use for you to have this fort here. And there's one in Roussillon and one in Girona. The one in Roussillon is not that important, although it is mountains, so it's better for you to have the fort in Roussillon. So we're gonna kill the fort in Girona. Let us with the fort in Roussillon, and to some degree we're gonna have the protection of here. Basically, in Barcelona is gonna be defended as well, so we can keep our troops in Barcelona. Like this, because they're not going to be able to move in here because of this fort, and like this because of this fort. So we're safe on Barcelona to keep our troops in case we get attacked and we have to reinforce or anything of that sort to just move troops from our islands as well. So yeah, that is the fort arrangement, and we're making 11.5 ducats. A pretty high amount, if I say so myself. Is quite good. State-wise, we're quite good as well. We have plenty, with many more to come. Now let's go into the states and let's see what we can get here. As you can see, they're kind of a low control, 50-48. It's quite nice, to be honest. This could be a little bit lower, if I say so myself. But yeah, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna do some conquest perhaps, and we're gonna be golden. Now, let's go with the clergy. Here, you'll want an advisor as always, so the best way for you is to get to basically 75 or 80, depending on how you want to pull it off. If you want to go to 80, you can get this tree here, Inquisitor, Emissary, and Support. So we're gonna go here. It is gonna get you to 80, so you can get 150 points here, which is gonna be really good. Now, if we do this, as you can probably see here, we're gonna have a little bit of an issue here, 8.7, but if you want to remove some lands from the clergy, it's good as well. We can remove whatever you want. To be honest, I'll recommend, let's say, or Teruel, Alter Teruel, or let's say Alicante, just to be removed from the clergy. Yeah, it's gonna go by 6.9. It's gonna be a little bit annoying, but at the same time you can just take some lands from France, for example, and it's gonna go down. You have plenty of time here. In the worst case scenario, you're just gonna remove some provinces. That's gonna allow you to do this. I do recommend keeping this here to some degree because you get a papal influence, so keep this here until you get that, let's say 61, or let's say 60.01 is the lowest thing you can get, basically, so you don't take bad modifiers from having too lower of a loyalty when you actually do this. Now for nobility, it's a little bit more tricky. You do have a starting general, a 434, which is actually your current heir or your current ruler, which is quite decent, to be honest. So overall, it's quite nice. So there are no problems there if you don't want to go for a grand generalship. So you'll need to call a diet and you'll need to recruit a minister. It's gonna get you unfortunately to 73, so you might need this. So instead of you might want to go for this as well, and you might want to kind of generalship. It's gonna get you to 93. It's gonna be problematic. So just go for call a diet and recruit a minister. Call a diet and kind of generalship, or just go for the 73 with call a diet and recruit a minister, and so you can get 150 points. It's up to you. This is gonna be put you at a huge amount of risk, and estate-wise, you can remove stuff, but you should be at 15, so you're gonna have bad modifiers. It's up to you how you want to pull it off. At this point in time, they are quite well managed. Even if you remove this, it's gonna be problematic. So I don't recommend going over the limit, but it's still doable if you are in a position to conquer lands really fast. Now, for the burghers, if you actually grab monopoly charters, you're gonna get over to 40. Then you can do all of this stuff here. Basically, it's pretty standard stuff. It's gonna get you 76. Not that many issues. You can demand again at the rest of the year when it's down to 60.1. And you actually have extra guys here, so you actually should kill a couple of them. You start with Admiral, I think, as well. You can keep 2 actually, not 1. So you can keep 2 guys because you are feudalism, right? You can also make your heir into a general, but we'll talk about this actually later on. So state-wise, you see the arrangement is going to give you a decent amount of benefits. And trade-wise, again, let's go with the trade. You actually push from here, and you actually, where do you push from? There should be a second position, right? And Tunis and Champagne. Oh yeah, Champagne. So you push from Tunis and Champagne. 1 down, 1 up. It's up to you how to pull it off. Though this is the best option. Later on, for trade nodes, you are in the primary trade node of Genoa, so you won't move from here. Later on, if you actually go for TI, depending on your path of expansion, you might want to go to the New World and to go like this, or push from Alexandria as well. But yeah, just push straight to Genoa. There's nothing much to say here. You're not gonna move up and down. You're gonna stay in Genoa. It's the end trade node. Try to get as much of the Genoa trade node as possible under your control, simply because you need to have those lands to get more power from those nodes. But yeah, simple. Nothing much to say about trade here. You're in the perfect trade node to do your stuff. Let's go over to court. You have a king. It's a 246, quite decent if I say myself, with a decent amount of stuff here. The build cost is not needed, the mission stacking is not needed as well. The advisor cost is decent, but yeah, the rest are good. Although this guy is quite crap, so I do recommend making him into a general, so he can die. You have a queen consort, again new stuff with the patch. We have a regency, but you're not gonna have a regency, not yet at least. Now, I recommend going for admin focus, simply because we're on the first idea really fast. We're quite big. As for advisors, just go for the +2 guys that we decided on. Like this. Where did I get this? It really doesn't matter. My recommendation is to go with this guy here, and here go with this guy. Right, there we go, with this guy here. And the third one should be the... You can go for a 2-pointer here. You have 8 ducats, so you can go for a 2-pointer on military to get the discipline here in my situation. But it's up to you how you want to pull it off. I recommend going for a 2-pointer. If you're low on cash, just go for 1 point. At this moment in time, you make 5.7 ducats. If you actually go for military, you're gonna make 3 ducats. So you're golden on cash. You have a decent amount of cash as Aragon. A pretty high amount of cash if I say so myself, so you're good. Ooh, 20 legitimacy, that's huge. That's a huge chunk. Now, government-wise, you're a kingdom, you're a feudal monarchy. Nothing here, pretty standard stuff. You have 2 culture, Sicilian and Catalan, and Aragon as your primary. There's nothing much to say here. You have your 2 slots taken, unfortunately. Yeah. Cost you then. No, that's bad. Yeah, there's nothing much you can do here. We are a multicultural state, unfortunately, with having an Iberian here, having the Italians, what should I call it? Yeah, having this guys here as well in Italy. So yeah, it's gonna be problematic for you to keep this guys in check. Now, if you actually go to the next tab, diplomacy, this is where it becomes tricky. As I said before, Aragon has a decent amount of enemies in my situation right now. An alliance with Austria is very welcomed. We can get an alliance with Venice as well, so you can expand to some degree all the way around this region here, and you have the protection of Austria, which is gonna be good. You motherfucking chair. So you're gonna be safe. For the long run, you want to take the Italian states to keep Italy into the empire as well, and become the HRE emperor to some degree. That is gonna be one of your main goals, and can be achieved with the strategies that you already know from the HRE video. I'm gonna talk about them in the expansion video. Now, an alliance with Austria is welcomed to safeguard you against France. As for your rivals, I do recommend going for the easiest guys first here. For example, Genoa, you cannot declare war on them. Hungary is going to get an alliance with Austria, so it's not good. Ottomans powerful, Mamelukes powerful. I would say that Castile should be your main target at this point in time, together with France. And if you see here, France, this is not gonna go down. It's your decision if you want to keep this going or not. Another possible option is Venice as well, so Venice can be a rival as well. Same goes for the Papal State, and attacking a Papal State is a good option if you have the claims on a Papal State. So let's recap. As for the rivals, Papal State, Venice, France, and Castile. You start with the slower guys and start with the weakest guys. They go from there. As you can see, Genoa you can attack, so it's Papal State, Venice, then Castile, then at some point France. But yeah, an alliance with Austria to safeguard yourself against France and other attacks. At the same time, working to become the HRE emperor as well, which is gonna be good. Other than this, perhaps an alliance with England if they don't rival you, or alliance with Hungary as well against Venice. Either way, you have plenty of alliance targets, so there shouldn't be any problems for you to ally with somebody to watch your back. Now, we talked about cash, trade, now let's go for technology. Here, standard stuff, the institutions that are new, nothing much to say here about. You have to know the events when they happen in Europe. The Renaissance is gonna happen in Italy, so you're gonna expand it really fast if you actually own some provinces in Italy. Though you're not gonna own the highest development provinces, which is Milan, right? Yeah, Milan with 30. Most likely it's gonna happen in Milan or Verona or anything that has over 20 base tax in province of Italy. So that's gonna spread out. Again, you should know the drill if you actually play this game to some degree. Now, technologies wise, again, use the modifiers as much as possible so you can save points. For admin tech, go when you are full so you can get the ideas faster. For Diplo, try to save points as much as possible so you can get the first idea. With military technology, take when you want to go to war, when you're at war, or if you're just standing there with points, try to use the modifiers as well so that you won't lose so you can save points, not lose points, so you can save points. Another thing that you have to be careful, if you're feel threatened by somebody, you can just simply up your tech so they will be less likely to attack you. Ideas. Now, the ideas are, let's say, a little bit problematic, depends on how you want to expand, but let's go for Aragon's ideas first. You have trade efficiency and galley compatibility. This is superb. Usually, stuff for ships are not great. The only moment that they're great is at the start. and Aragon has it from the start. With trade efficiency in the Genoa trade node, you can get even more cash, so it's even more warranted. So these two ideas really complement each other really well. The ships to get control of the trade node by killing everybody, taking every coastal provinces, and the trade port to get more cash for the ships is perfect. You're gonna be able to fight the Ottomans with your galleys. It's superb. Nothing much to say here. You motherfucking chair. Next, you have the mercenary maintenance minus 25%. Again, you're in the general trader, you're gonna have the cash. If you have a lower manpower, you can have the mercenaries. Again, it's really good. Sailors and naval force limit modifier. Again, this is gonna be good in the early game when you want to fight Ottomans. Later on, you're gonna switch to Spain, which is really gonna help you. So that is good as well in the early game. So it's gonna help you to focus on something really early on, so you can have the ships necessary to build to fight off the rest of your enemy. Motherfucking goddamn, sorry. Trade steering plus 20% is decent. It's gonna allow you to push more trade into the Genoa trade node that you're already in. So this is good as well. Past this, you're probably gonna switch to Spain, I think. You're gonna get you're gonna get up to here to the second idea. You're gonna need Tech 10, so to some degree you're gonna have about here, I think, or here for the autonomy change when you switch to Spain. But you have the stability cost modifier, not that great. You have the global trade power, really excellent. You have the monthly autonomy change minus 0.5, which is good. You have the moral of armies plus 10%, which is good as well. And you have the culture conversion cost minus 10%, which is good as well. So overall, these ideas are good for your early game and shit for your late game. They're gonna give you this amount of cash and let's say some amount of mercenaries, maintenance modifier, so some free troops together with your zone of control, so the general trade node, so you can get more cash here. Is doable, but recommendation is to move to Spain to their ideas because they're better. Now, for ideas and what ideas you should take. Now, that is the question at hand. There are two ways you can play this. You either can go for influence, then let's say followed by exploration, expansion ideas, for example, or just saving a slot and taking exploration as well. So influence, expansion, exploration, or influence, admin, exploration, expansion, or exploration, expansion, exploration, exploration, 2 points in admin influence, or exploration, expansion, admin influence, exploration, expansion, influence, admin. There are plenty of ways to do this. There are some capabilities, I would say, but the recommended way that I will go if I will play Aragon is to let Castile in my PU. Basically, you're gonna have the Iberian wedding event, and basically let Castile colonize. Then you can just integrate them really fast, and use the modifiers from the influence to actually get them faster, to integrate them faster. Same goes for Naples, because Naples is gonna be problematic as well, and you want to integrate them as soon as possible as well. So yeah, my recommendation would be influence followed by admin, 2 points in admin, then focusing on exploration, then expansion, then a military idea. So you can basically incorporate all the world. That is, I would say, the most optimal when you're talking about points. Now, if you want to rush the new world, go for the exploration, the expansion, followed by influence and admin. But that is going to be problematic because you're not going to have the minus 25 for annexation. Another way to put it, you might want to go influence, admin full, so you can get the policy here for the minus 20% integration cost, which is going to help you. It still is 20%. Yeah, so 20% with influence, minus 20% cost, which is going to get your cost to minus 45%, which is going to be what, about 4 points for development. That is really going to speed up your integration rate and reduce your cost, which is really going to help you. The problem is that it's going to lower your 10th idea, so that you will get exploration ideas. Now, actually we'll talk about expanding to some degree. You're going to have to feed Castile, Portugal, some stuff like that. As for your 5th idea, you're going to be really large. I do recommend quality ideas. They're going to help you fight England with a little bit of a combination between ships and between land and naval. as well, so it's gonna help you fight England because you need to fight England. Although you can to some degree squash England if you actually lure them into these lands here and use your superior galleys to fight them off. That is really gonna help you. But again, doable or not doable, that can be done to actually lure England into these lands here to your Mediterranean Sea and just squash them here, which is doable. And that I would actually recommend going for offensive ideas. You'll need a land force limit modifier to some degree to actually get more troops for the new world, to keep some lands under control, so offensive is good as well. So either quality or offensive, with the combination of being the HRE Emperor, is really gonna be good. Now, this is all for the ideas. Mission wise, you can actually form Spain as I said before, but it's only doable as a military. Now, this is gonna get you some decent problems, I would say. You need to have Tech 10 of course, and you need to own some provinces. Now, the Iberian Wedding event is gonna fire for Castile, and you're gonna become the controller of Castile if the event fires. So attacking and destroying Castile to any degree is not recommended. What is recommended afterwards is to fit Portugal to Castile when there are your queue, etc. Some stuff like that, some cheeky stuff. But yeah, don't attack Castile that much. Where were we? Missions. Nothing much here. As you can see, you have this here. Almost Condor. I have no idea what Condor is. Oh right, because I have the eye up. There we go, sorry. So you can actually have missions right now. So, is Vassalize Navarra. So if I will send a stuff, if I actually go a little bit into the wiki, and let's actually see events. So they have 4 Mediterranean, to conquer Naples, to conquer Sicily, to conquer Sardinia, so basically for southern Italy, Naples, Sicily, and Naples, Sicily, and Sardinia, so basically this part here. And we have become the king of Gondor, as you see, for this part here, to actually kinda defeat Saruhan. That is something around this area here, Saruhan, or I don't know, it's like a black flag nation. If I actually go for Control F, Saruhan, I honestly to some degree don't even care, Saruhan, but I'm just curious. Saruhan doesn't even exist. Defeat Saruhan, vassalize Navarra, and that's about it on the missions. There's nothing that much to say here. Pretty standard stuff to regain your the lands that you lost, and some let's say other missions that are flavor events. As for events, there are some Consulate of the Sea books, something for the sea, some advisors. Nothing that important or major. You do have the Iberian Wedding, and there is an event for Castile and one for Aragon. Pretty much standard stuff. Has to be A controlled, was not pro controlled, it's not a subject, it's a neighbor of Aragon, it's not a worried Aragon. The rules of Castile and Aragon have a different gender. Castile has regency, days between 1450 and 1530. It's standard stuff. You're gonna get some modifier opinion, I think. Yeah, pretty much standard stuff with European winning the same as Castile. That is really gonna power you up to some degree, to the point where I think that Castile might be better to play as Aragon if you want to do some more conquering, because it allows you to expand into this area here and this area here a little bit faster than Castile. But it's going to be problematic with France, though you can ally Burgundy and kill them off. Although if you actually ally Austria, it's going to be impossible. Again, different styles of different play styles will give you different results. Now, we went to missions, stability and focus, standard stuff here. I do recommend going for, actually later on, I do recommend going for this, I would say, or this. This is not a good. The events, the native training policy is really gonna help you to some degree. not send troops, but if you're really big, I do recommend setting this. Using this is gonna give you a static point boost basically in settlers. As for this, boost at start, because you have a modifier as well for -10%. State-wise, you have plenty of reserve states. You have 5 occupied right now. You can have 15, so you're gonna have a decent amount of available states. You are a kingdom, right? Yeah, you're a kingdom. So stability is standard. Religion-wise, you are gonna have to use some to take religious ideas at some point if you actually expand into this area here, and if you expand into this area here, you're gonna need to convert some stuff. But there's pretty much standard stuff here. For the papacy, you do not have a cardinal, which is quite annoying. You do have a 10% chance to get one in Messina, so it should happen at some point for you to have, a cardinal in Messina, which is gonna be good for you because you're gonna play the Quira control game. You'll not want to switch to Catholic, to Protestant or any of that sort, so just fight for the Catholics. And that is it for religion. For military, you have 70 of 23 force limit. I do recommend building it up when you're actually close to the maximum force limit, so you can actually save cash. As for the actual combinations, you have 13 and 4, and you can actually hold 23, so 14, 16 and 7 is my recommended. So 16 infantry and 7 cav for the start, then complement with artillery when that point comes. For force limit, for naval force limit, you have 13 cogs, 8 galleys, 3 barks. I recommend building more galleys, selling 2 of your cogs and building more galleys as well. 10 cogs are gonna allow you to move ships to some degree all over this place, because you're gonna need to move into these islands here as well and some other places. So having 10 cogs is a decent amount. I would even settle with 8, but 10 is better because you might need to move ships from one place to another. So 10 cogs is decent. It's gonna allow you to have 14 galleys with 20% bonus. That was gonna be another 3 galleys plus on damage, so it's gonna be a decent amount of force limit. Together with the ships from Naples, you're really gonna dominate the Ottomans to some degree. It's possible to build over the force limit, and as well to kill more cogs depending on how big is the Ottoman fleet. If you actually look at the Ottoman fleet right now, you'll see that they have a total of 24, so they're not gonna have more than you. If you kill some of the galleys, you're really gonna be... Oh, they have the same as you, right? Yeah, they have the same as you. 24 out of 24 out of 27, so pretty much the same force limit. If you are smart enough in how you move them, you're gonna be able to squash the Ottomans with only your ships, not counting the ones from Naples as well. So Ottomans are easily squashed on the sea. So that is all here. Other than this, there's nothing much to say here. Some forts will have to be destroyed depending on where we take them. Might be wise to build some defensive, so have some forts here on Italy, because oh no, you're gonna keep Italy in the game. So let's say keep the fort in Rome and build a fort in Romagna, for example, to hold this region here. That is gonna help you as well. God damn it! Oh, my throat is dry. I'm not really used to talking this much, to be honest. Like, after 3 months of being a YouTuber, I'm still not used to talking this much. Now, this is all on military. On subjects, you have Naples, which you should integrate at some point. Of course, you have interactions here. These are new: supportive, aggressive, passive, defensive, siege. Again, some stuff here, and the options here basically to do some stuff. So nothing is recommended to do, like they're pretty standard stuff, just improve some relations with them so they won't actually break off from you and have, let's say, Liberty Desire over 50, especially when you actually get Castile as well. It's gonna be problematic for you to have Castile try to break off. If you then lands and prepare to annex them and have 100 relations, a royal marriage, anything of this sort, better tech, you're gonna be able to keep them down, some diplomacy reputation as well, so you're gonna be fine on that front. And we talked about the states. So this is all about the initial situation. Next episode we'll talk about the expansion guide. It's gonna be split into not into parts, but it's gonna be quite complicated because there are two ways to expand Aragon, as you can see from the ideas and how you want to pull it off. But yeah, I'm Chevalier. I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, comment, I guess. I really want feedback. If you want to subscribe. There's also a playlist if you want to see more of this stuff, some more revision situations and guides. But yeah, I'm Chevalier. I bid you farewell, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.